You received a call from an inmate at the Department of Corrections. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline this call, hang up.
Well, hello, Mikey. How are you? No, I'm doing very well. You know, the fight continues. There's a lot that we have to deal with out there, and I'm happy for the progress. Whoa. Well, I was a little nervous about you messing around with people in there while you have a husband out here. But it's good that you're working that out. Yeah, there's a lot of trauma, a lot of psychological issues going on in there, and I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job, and considering the odds are against you, right? Yeah, how is Frankie? Yeah, yeah. I haven't talked to Frankie in a while. Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. Well, good. I'm glad to see that. A what? Oh, hermaphrodite. Yes, that's a person who's born with both sexual organs. Well, what? Why? Well, you'd think he would be in a female prison. Oh, so he wants to identify as a male, so the female prison sent him over there. Oh my goodness. Every day? Oh man, that must be heaven for those sexual predators over there and the rapists and the... Yes, I know. They should have kept him in the female prison. Now, I think he would have been safer. Oh, so he wanted to go over there. Okay, so he goes over there to be identified as a male. He wants to be with the males, which is good. That's normal. But he's constantly raped. That is just wrong. Are you able to help him out any? Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, no, we have not heard about it. They don't talk about that stuff on the outside world. That only goes on inside those walls. Well, no, it is the toughest obstacle we have. Right. You're preaching to the choir. I agree with you 100%. They should protect you. You have rights. You still are a human, whether they like to accept it or not. I know you're a legal slave, and that's something I am strongly against. Yes. I do agree with that. But he was in the female prison. He asked to go to the male prison because he identifies as a male, and then they're just taking full advantage of him and just letting it go. That is disgusting. Okay, so the women's prison would not take him back because he chooses to identify as a male. They knew it. They knew this kind of stuff would happen. You need to isolate him. He should be treated like, I would say a homosexual, and kind of pushed aside to shower alone, away from the crowd. Well, I will definitely pick that up. That is a fight worth fighting.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you guys don't deserve to be treated like that. Wow, that is amazing. What? Okay, Mikey, hold on. You dabbled on the other side, so you cannot criticize homosexuals like that or transgender people. I know. Yep, this is America, and you're entitled to your opinion, and that's fine. Just don't act on it. Don't beat people up or
you have
get
30
people
seconds
fired.
remaining.
I know. The society is changing, and I'm reluctant to take those changes. But I do respect human rights, and I do respect differences in opinions and diversity. And I have nothing against people stepping out on their own. If that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do. Oh, okay. Yeah. It just breaks my heart, though. And I'm glad you feel sorry. Welcome to AQS Inmate Call, and I am your host, Joel Wilborn. Thank you for tuning in, and I would like to say that we just got off a conversation with Mikey. He's happily married. He's a straight man. He's in a male prison, and he was telling me about a man who was transferred from the women's prison over to the male prison with Mikey. And this person wishes to identify as a male. He was born with both the female and the male reproductive parts, we should say. And he is constantly being raped over there at the male prison. And, you know, it doesn't sit right with me because these folks should be protected. They know he's coming in there with this special condition. So they should be keeping an eye out for him, helping him out. Unfortunately, they are not. And they're just kind of turning the other cheek while he is being abused. And, you know, Mike and I discussed human rights. This is definitely a human rights violation. The safety and security of all people locked up, no matter how heinous the crime, is guaranteed under the Constitution. So this is clearly a violation of federal law. So I don't understand why anybody would go out on the extreme and let people be treated this way. And, you know, I know, you know, in some cases, like on one of my interviews on the YouTube channel, an inmate is telling me that prison is considered the punishment in a lot of prisons out there. And, you know, going to prison, you're separated with your family, you lose your job, you lose your reputation, you are shunned by the community. There's a lot that goes with it. Plus, there's trauma. And the fact that you're in there with people who really don't care if you make it or not. They're just interested in their own personal gain. And then, you know, then there's also those that I like to work with that want to take advantage of programs, and they want to get out and they want to get back into the community. So just like the larger outside world, the inside world is affected by a lot of the same issues. So to have this person being abused on a daily basis, what do we expect when he gets out? Is he going to put all this behind him? Is it going to sit in the back of his head and jump out at the best moment? Or does society think that it doesn't matter? Maybe society thinks that they should be locked up forever. Just because of a sexual preference, I don't think people should get an extra time served. And they shouldn't get mistreated like that. How can anybody accept that? You know, it just doesn't sit right with me. Now, this story is based off true life. So when you are in the grocery store and there's a person standing in front of you counting out his money to make a purchase, that person might have been locked up in prison. That person might have been raped continuously. And that person could have been shunned or mistreated in other ways. You don't know. You don't know much of anything about that person. Well, then again, you could have been in line behind somebody who you knew. But for the most part, people we meet out in public are strangers to us. And, what the definition I like to hear is that a stranger is a friend you haven't met. And you could get to know this person and over the years find out that he's a hermaphrodite and has both male and female parts and was seriously mistreated in prison. And you could say, well, you know what? You committed that crime. Or you could say, no, that's wrong. And once you get to know a person, it is very difficult to criticize the person and to shun the person and to push the person aside. Because, as a friend, we look out for our friends. We look out for the people that they love and that we love and that the shared friends that we have. It's a whole different world with friendship. And being a friend with someone like this, no matter what the crime, it will touch your heart. How could it not? And this kind of treatment isn't free. Because, like what we say in America is freedom isn't free. And with a crime, you go to prison. And yes, that is the punishment. But it's also on the edge of being very destructive. Prison causes trauma. Prison causes anxiety. Prison, when you're ripped out of society and you lose your job, you lose your home, you lose family members, friends, you lose the support of the community, and you have to work harder just to get equal to everybody else. Crime doesn't distinguish between races. It doesn't distinguish between sexes, and it certainly doesn't distinguish between ages. Anybody can become a criminal, and criminals can be found everywhere. So incarcerated people, even though they were part of that world, it's our job as a society to see to it that they get put away and come out a better person. Cut and dry. Simple, period. What would you think if this person comes out, is your neighbor, and the community starts pointing fingers? There was a rash of robberies last night, so it must be this person. I don't care what country you're in. That isn't right. It's wrong. And we need to work with folks to try to end this trend. And first and foremost, if we paid the people properly, if we gave them the proper medical treatment and housing and listened to their complaints, didn't really lash out at loved ones, all of this stuff could contribute to lesser prisons, shorter sentences. And if we allow the judge to make this sentence rather than based on a scale where, if a person commits a felon, they get an automatic 15 years. If we let the judge make that call, I think we'll be better off. Yet, what's the chance of us getting something like that passed out there? We are so against people committing crimes. And to have it done to us, have a person steal from us, it's like being punched below the belt. So, I hope you get out, discuss these things with your loved ones, discuss these things with your friends, and maybe reach out to the prison officials, the justice system officials. We need a change. We definitely need a change. We can't let this trend keep going. And bringing a person out of prison to live next door to you who has these things racing through their head, what are you trying to prove? So I hope you can get something from this. And I really pray that you take action on it. We need as many people in our corner as we can possibly get. Go to my YouTube channel, Joel Wilborn at the YouTube, and take a look at the videos where real inmates are discussing what they went through while locked up in prison. And I really, truly believe we can put an end to this and close down prisons and get people out knowing where they can reach out to get assistance if they need it. So go out, enjoy your day, and make beautiful memories for tomorrow.